Star quality. I got it. I got this. You got it. You got it. My chart says so. Look at me go. Sun, moon, rising. It's all about timing. It's all about timing. Earthlings. What's it all mean? What's it all mean? Star quality.
What's it all mean? What's it all mean?
Star quality.
Woo. No, dude, really, what does it all mean?
Star quality. I got it. You got it. You got it. Star quality. Star quality. What is up, Star Party people? Welcome back to Star Quality. I'm your host, Stevie, the astrologer. And wow, how is everyone holding up in this very eventful 2026 so far? You know, I keep thinking back to my year ahead forecast, which feel free to go and listen. Just thinking back to that and how, 2026 is definitely so far delivering on the very charged, fast going, like that sneak preview that we had in 2025 of like what we might be experiencing. A lot of the same themes are coming back up again. And I think, even if there is a quote calmer month, is there a calm month in a chaotic year? So far, not tracking to be so. We started this year with so much Capricorn energy. We were in a Capricorn stellium. Now we're in this really large Aquarius stellium that is really getting activated with this full moon that we'll be experiencing. This full moon is, let me give you some quick stats before we really dive into the chart of the moment and what we're being asked for this full moon. So this full moon is happening at 13 degrees of Leo. Full moons are when the sun and moon are in opposite positions. And so the sun is at 13 degrees of Aquarius. We are deep in Aquarius season. And this full moon is really about, there's two things happening at the same time. It's really about where we fit, who we want to be around, who we feel at home with, and where we feel like we belong. And at the same time, the Leo of it all, which is standing out, this full moon stands out like on its own island. This Leo moon is a real reminder about listening to our heart. The Leo, the sign, is connected to the heart and to the solar plexus and to really about what we're deeply into and passionate about and our interests and our hobbies and our life and fullness and joy, laughter, playfulness, all those things that, like, if those have felt really left out or forgotten about, those are getting a really firm reminder. But I'm going to do a full breakdown of this chart in just a second because there's so much stellium energy and it's really like opposing. A majority of the planets are on one side of the chart. So usually I'll talk about what aspects are happening to the sun and moon, and then I'll get into the full chart breakdown. But because everything's over there, I'm going to save that for the paywall. So this is your reminder. If you'd like to be a supporter of Star Quality for $7.77 a month, or you could pay the flat yearly, you will get all the paywalled bonus episode stuff, the full weekly horoscopes, anything that lives behind the paywall will be yours, access to the chat room, and more. So for the cost of buying me a coffee each month, which fuels me to research and divine and send the messages of the planets for you, you get in trade helping indie astrologer. This is a user-supported platform. If you enjoy what you hear, think about supporting me. Maybe if there is a like corporate shitty subscription you've been keeping for a while, maybe you want to ditch that and come over here and support a individual who does all this stuff for you. Technically labor, but it's a labor of love. I guess, wellness check. This feels Leo moon, because why not? Wellness check for me. What is going on? I am recording this before I go see the new Charlie XCX movie. The moon's technically still in Cancer while I'm recording this, but I do like that this movie is starting to get its early premiere during this Leo full moon, because she is a Leo sun and Mercury retrograde and Venus, and it might be some other things that I might be forgetting, but very Leo-y person. Truthfully, this January, I know I forecasted before that January is like nonstop, and it has been. I feel like everyone's been annoying. It's been nonstop. I'm like, knock on wood, I'm looking forward to February, because I think when we do get into eclipses and Mercury retrograde, there is just a lot of like downloads that can come in of like, oh, actually that's what I want to do. And I think because this full moon is kind of technically almost in a way kicking off the eclipse season that's upcoming. This is our last lunation before eclipses. So after this full moon, we will have the Lunar New Year on February 17th, where we're going to switch from the year of the snake into the year of the fire horse. And that's going to be an eclipse on the 17th of February. That's our new moon eclipse starting in Aquarius. So starting off this Leo Aquarius axis, and we're really focusing on that for this Leo full moon as well. And then on March 3rd, we're going to have the full moon total lunar eclipse in Virgo, as we wind down the Virgo Pisces eclipses. And then our next new moon post eclipses is on March 18th. And that's our new moon in Pisces, not an eclipse. We're basically at the baton pass off. If this is like a track race, we're like the baton pass off between eclipse cycles. So the Leo Aquarius one is just starting. So also, I think a lot of this stuff that's happening right now with this full moon, and also what's going to come up in February, is definitely the beginning of a chapter. There is something that is starting up that maybe we don't even know about fully, but that is probably going to become clearer and clearer as we have each eclipse upcoming. Where Leo is like the pop star of the zodiac, Aquarius is like the rock star. Leo does care about the audience and the applause and like who is watching. But then at the same time, Aquarius is also very audience minded, but more about how the crowd is like feeling. And I think Aquarius and Leo are a really interesting axis to me. I'm like addicted to like the Leo Aquarius axis. Maybe y'all know this, but I'm married to a Leo who has an Aquarius moon. He was born during the eclipse. Eclipse baby. But what's wild? My ex, who I moved to LA with, who was my longest partner before my current partner, he's a Aquarius sun, Leo moon. So I like flipped who I'm with in terms of that. So there's something in that axis that just keeps pulling me back. What can I say? As a Taurus, I love a square. I love a fellow, bold, like can handle their own sort of sign, the fixed signs that, don't take no shit. But also too, I think Leo, and similarly what we have almost with like Aries, Libra, Leo with like the me, and Aquarius with the we. Aries can very much be the same thing. Aries with the me, Libra with the we. And so I think this who, what, where, even like the ideas others have for you and what you quote should be doing, I think is getting really illuminated, where just because you're on a path and going doesn't mean you have to keep going. It's like a carousel ride. Like you can actually get off. I know it's still spinning, but it's one of those that keeps spinning. So you just have to decide when you hop off. One last thing before I go deeper into the chart and post paywall for the third spacers, the subscribers, is Neptune's now in Aries. You guys, we're in it. There's no going back to Neptune and Pisces. That new moon, our last new moon, that Capricorn new moon was our last one with Neptune and Pisces. We still do have Uranus and Taurus. So this is our last thing, our last planet, our last outer planet before the real shift of energy for 2026. That's going to happen on April 25th of this year. So we are still really in it's almost like we're still in the appetizer. We still are in the first act. There's there's going to be a lot that shifts April onward. And right now we're in like very big growing pains as we're waiting, and not even waiting, but just like growing into the newness as we're fumbling into the newness. So yeah, I mean, my wellness check is honestly, I'm just putting my head down and working. I'm working a lot. I'm doing day job stuff. I'm doing astrology night job stuff. I feel like I'm open for readings. If you'd like to get a reading, please come through, book that. I'd love to see you. I've seen a lot, I feel like I'm getting a lot of great folks coming through, some returning people, some new people. So if you would like a reading, feel free to book yourself one of those. It's link in the show notes and everything. If there's no time that works for you, just email me. I'm always good about finding a time for someone. I'd rather put less up there than more, just because I'm working more than full time right now, guys. Mommy's tired. Mommy's a little tired, but also blame my cap stellium. I think the more I work, the more energy I have in a strange way. And this is not a fucking shout out to capitalism by any means. If I have too open of a schedule, I just stare at the wall and don't do anything. But if I have things that I have to be, accounted for, I keep moving. It's sort of like if I book a workout class, it's going to charge me. I'm fucking getting up and going. So yeah, I'm about 2 months with my new cat, Jonesy cat, and it's so nice to have a creature to care for. And if you needed this Leo full moon sign to get a cat, get a cat. Also, Jupiter's going to move into Leo later this year, so even more cat energy. But yeah, January, I had a friend who reached out about hanging out. And I was just like, dude, just hit me up in February. February is my real reset, fuck off. I keep calling it fuck off February. And I just sent her a screenshot of my Google Calendar for January, which was just crazy. And then my February one, which is beautifully wide open. And I'm really, January is full of a lot of social things for me, which is also my 7th house. So it makes sense. And, when it rains, it pours. What can I say? I feel I just go into these pendulum swings. Also, maybe it's my Libra. I see 4th house, 0 degrees. It's all or nothing with me sometimes. So I've been in the all. I'm ready for a little bit of nothing. Thinking of Leo vitality. I told a friend the other day, I was oh, I just kind of realized being in my mid 30s, I'm technically midlife. That was something I saw some video that was doing the math, and I was oh wait, I didn't even think about that. If you think about the average lifespan, when you think of midlife, you think it's 40s, 50s, but it's actually your mid 30s. And what else before I get into the paywall zone? Obviously, fuck ICE, fuck all this shit, fuck it, fuck all of it. There needs to be punishment. Can't wait for the trials one day in the future. I know we're not gonna probably get that sort of thing immediately, but this is the thing, keep your receipts, clock the faces, clock the names, because accountability will come one day. So for now, please, be safe, look out for each other, do the right things. And something just I feel is worth saying from back, looking back even to 2020, looking back to, I was in the campus anti-war network when I was in college during the Iraq War. And I think just something that's really changed in the activist space, and not that I'm a activist specialist or even, I care about stuff and think about stuff a lot and participate when it's time to participate. But I think woke 2.0 definitely needs us to work together and to not police each other on, the ins and outs of what's what. And do I think a lot of things are really performative? Sure. But also, like, who am I actually mad at? I think it's like remembering, like, who am I actually mad at? And maybe in a Leo sense, you know, Leo being connected to the arts and entertainment, who is the real villain, you know, and not the easy to, you know, blame or the person that's closest near me or whatever. So I think too, you know, getting aligned on your Leo drama is really is up for the moment. Okay, so I'm going to get into this full moon chart. Again, this is happening February 1st, 2026. This is at 2:09 p.m. Pacific time. Adjust for your time zone. I'll put a image up of the chart so you can take a peek at where all the planets are. The rising sign is going to vary, you know, and be based on your location. So don't get too tripped up on that. But all the planet positions, you know, not the houses, but where they're at and aspecting will be the same. All right, let's talk about what's going on with this Aquarius, big ol' fucking ass stellium in this Leo full moon over in the third space.